guys, welcome to the MeanCharles show. This is my HPA LPR low pressure regulator upgrade series on how to make a gas blowback modification cheap man style. Right now I think the HPA setups for airsoft are way too expensive, especially the LPR rigs, especially with tapping your mags and getting the Russian the Russian CQB taps that basically slide out for your valve on your gas blowback mags. I think it's way too expensive, and I think this is basically the exact same thing, but you just make it yourself. First of all, your tank. You're going to need HPA tank, and you're going to need a remote line. And if you have that, you're pretty much on your way. What is this contraption? It basically is a low pressure regulator from a ion paintball gun. They're really cheap pieces of shit back in the day. They're great for scrap parts. If you ever want to like pillage one, they're so cheap, like peanuts, dude. So there's tons of LPRs on the market. Like if you Google low pressure regulator, you're gonna get tons of stuff from, you know, big company corporate stuff for just regulating airflow, to paintball, to whatever. Paintball is where you want to go because usually the threads are in the same realm. So what you're going to need is a paintball low pressure regulator, and you can get them used for like $5-10, or if you buy new, they're like I think $25, $30 on A&S gear. So basically, after you get your LPR, this is an ion one. If you want to get the ion one, get the ion one. You adjust your valve right here for going, I think, yeah, clockwise is increase, counterclockwise is decrease. And then if you still have your ion, you want to pillage the ASA. This is called an ASA right here. This is where the tank screws in. Basically just screw your tank in. You can get a release valve and a gauge on it if you want. You don't need to though. You can straight up just screw it on, put a little oil in there, and that will be fine. You're not going to hurt anything. You're not going to be dangerous. If you put oil in here, it will help you unscrew your tank though. After that, basically I have two macro line fittings. These are elbows. One's a swivel, so I can adjust the equipment, so I can adjust the velocity, sorry, and then a macro line. So after you got your parts, what you're gonna need is, on the ion LPR, I basically drilled into the ASA here and tapped it, and just screwed it into the LPR. There's an adjustment screw that goes into the poppet valve here that doesn't move. It already has a locking nut in it, and I basically just made that bigger and screwed this straight in so that it had a grip on it. After that, this is already tapped. This is no modification whatsoever. You just screw on your fitting, put on your macro line, screw on your other fitting. They might even have fittings on them already, and you're good to go. That's all you need to do. And then straight from there, the LPR can screw right onto your remote line. If you're not comfortable, don't do it. I'm not liable for any of this shit, but it's, you know, out of here, it's like 800 PSI maximum. You're not gonna do crazy damage compared to, you know, before the high pressure regulator here. Okay, now that we got this dealt with, let's talk about tapping your pistol mags. Putting a new valve on your pistol mags. You don't want to necessarily ruin them so you can't go back to like propane or green gas or whatever you're using. So instead of forking out $15 USD per magazine for a conversion valve from the Russian valve that just was released, why not make your own? If you're already you know, crafty, all you need to do is buy a piece of brass, or you can get, other than a piece of brass, you can get an adapter that I'll show you. I'll put a link in the description. But piece of brass, a screw, and then also a fitting for your remote line. So remote lines come with this piece. You can order these on eBay. I'm going to put all the parts to build this in the description below. It's super cheap. This ends up being like a couple bucks compared to $15. So per mag, that saves a ton of money. You can do it with a drill, 2 taps, and a screw. But if you're not comfortable with that, you can spend a bit more money in between and get this lower piece, basically this piece, in the description below. What it is it's a 1032 to replace the valve of your pistol mag. This is for Wee mags. They're 10/32, and that goes straight into this piece of brass that goes to a I believe it's a 1/8 or a 1/8 tap valve for basically anything paintball related, or anything that is a standard tap or fitting. So all the fittings for the 1/8 will fit in there. That's fine thread, so just heads up, both fine threaded taps that you need. I'll put that in the description. I'll go say this world. I'll put like taps with cheap man build guide, and then if you don't want to do any work, you just want to screw shit together, you know, I'll do that list. After that, bit of Teflon tape, Loctite if you got Loctite, and yeah, you're good to go. So basically what I did here is I unscrewed the valve on the Wee mag and put that out for later, and basically replaced it with this guy. So this guy, the remote line can connect straight onto this, and then basically converts the 1/8 thread to a 10/32 thread that screws straight into the pistol mag. It's super easy, super cheap to do, and the parts are down below. What you have to do is basically drill halfway down this piece of brass. I'll put this is standard brass machining, or you can go to Home Depot and just get aluminum and drill it. But you drill it halfway down, then you tap it with the 1/8 fine thread. You screw in your valve adapter, and then on the other side, you screw a 10/32 tap down here. Screw this in with some Teflon tape and Loctite, and then you screw it straight into your pistol mag. Super simple. This is the only hard part, is drilling down this little fucking screw. I did it on a lathe. Not everyone has a lathe, but you can do it with a drill press. I've done it with a drill press, where you just put it in a drill press, put a what is it, a 1.5 millimeter, or you can go imperial bit in there, and just slowly drilled it out, and it went right through. So hey guys, just an update. So after seeing that the brass was kind of like too big and cumbersome, I kind of found these valves that actually can fit the 10/32 thread in it. So you can basically tap straight down there, insert your valve right into this screw that you drill out, and it fits nicely straight into your magazines. So that's just a heads up of another way of doing it. These black valves are probably the easiest ones to find, or the ones that fit straight into your tank. They also the ones that fill up like Ninja tanks and stuff have a pin in them that give you an extra space to actually tap and put these guys straight in. So yeah, it works well, better than the brass ones. If you have some time on your hands, you want to be creative, you can save yourself a lot of money. This stuff already exists out there, and they're charging a premium for things that shouldn't cost that much money. So this is MeanCharles. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up or dislike or whatever. I don't care, but please comment below. I like to answer your questions. I like to help out people in a pinch, and if you have any more questions, let me know.